And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, dogs and cats, elephants and zebras, fairies and gypsies. This is a serious video. It's definitely good to make fun videos because sometimes life is too serious and you just gotta have a good time sometimes. So, this video is about Nix Specialty Hospital on Vance Jackson in San Antonio, Texas. And I don't have anything good to say about them. I have done some research and I will share some of that with you. The highest rating they have is a 1.8 out of 5. That's pretty darn bad. Sadly, places like, most how do you say, most sites that allow you to vote, if you will, to rate a company, a business, institution, facility, etc., require that you at least give them a 1 star. Nix does not deserve 1 star. The people that work at Nix and the people that run Nix Specialty, I can't speak to Nix Hospital itself, which is in city center or downtown San Antonio. I can't speak to them. I don't know anything about them per se. I know they own and operate Nix Specialty. Therefore, I don't like Nix Hospital System, period. Now let me tell you about an incident that I saw, and I don't know what else I could have done, but what I did, there was a lady, an elderly lady, probably older than me at the time. I mean, I know at the time she was older than I was. My age now, she may have been my age or older, probably older than what I am now. She was partially wheelchair bound. Sometimes she had to use a wheelchair, sometimes she didn't have to, but when she did walk, she had to walk with either a cane or a walker, or very slow and carefully. And I have to walk. Now I have to walk. Well, my doctor wants me to walk with a cane, and I don't always do that, especially not at home. Anyway, this lady, I don't know what precipitated the incident, but she was trying to contact what at the time was called Advocacy Inc. It is now Disability Rights. The phone would not dial out to Advocacy, now again called Disability Rights. And I'll provide links to these. Some time later, I was talking to somebody who worked for Advocacy, and I told her about the incident, and she said, "Oh well, we'll send them a letter and tell them to make sure their phones can call us." Yeah, I'm sure that's going to make a lot of difference. The people that work at Nix Specialty, they treat psych patients the way psych patients were treated into the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, the 80s. In my opinion, it wasn't until the 70s and 80s that things really started to change. But even then, what is it, the San Antonio State Hospital, they still treat patients the same way. They hire the lowest common denominator. The people that work at Nix Specialty are a bunch of punks. They're bullies, they're punks. This lady stood up, said, and I mean she was loud, I'll admit that. And all she wanted to do was contact Advocacy Inc. They told her to shut up and sit down. She had every right to stand there and demand her right to contact Advocacy. They jumped her. They pounded on her. They put her on the ground. I'm talking like 5 staff. This woman was no physical threat to anybody. She was an elderly lady who was disabled. They strapped her down in an isolation cell and shot her up with some drugs. Every single staff member should have been sent to prison for that. Not jail. They should have been sent to prison for that. I wonder how they would have been treated in prison. I doubt anything has changed. I remember one doctor sitting there dictating his report right in front of me, saying that I claimed that I was doing all sorts of drugs. I never claimed I did. I'm like, what is he saying that for? But, you know, with psychiatrists, you have to kind of keep your mouth shut, especially psychiatrists that work in places like that, because they'll just keep you there longer. Yeah, I've been around the block a few times on that kind of thing. Either I've experienced it personally, or I've seen it happen to others. And I've heard about incidents as well. The people at Nix, they sit there behind the nurse's station and ignore the patients. Patients have committed suicide. Patients have attempted to commit suicide. Staff don't care. They don't give a damn. Now, the staff at Nix on the street, I wonder what kind of people they are. I doubt they act that way. I doubt they behave that way. They're very arrogant, selfish people, and very violent toward the patients. I hope by making this video, something will change. I hope some investigations will take place. Now, I've made videos about facilities I was in as a child, and I've not heard of anything happening. There are actually people, believe it or not, who defend those abusers. And that's sick. You're sick if you defend those abusers. You're sick if you defend that kind of behavior. I have heard other horror stories from Nix Specialty. There's a problem with the people that work there. This is not something that happened once or twice or 3 or 4 or 5 times. This is ongoing. Decades, literally decades worth of abuse of psych patients. And somebody needs to step in and do something. Now, there's another facility in San Antonio, and I don't remember the name of it because I never went there. I only heard about it once or twice. But I actually heard about it from the same person. But years later. I shouldn't say years later, but sometime later. I don't know how much later. Something needs to be done. This place needs to be shut down, and the people that work there put in prison, not jail. Hopefully they'll find out what it's like once they go to prison. But I doubt that's going to happen because Advocacy Inc., now called Disability Rights, probably could care less. I doubt they're going to do anything. If they don't do anything, but see, this is one of the reasons I hate Texas so much. I went through so much hell in that state. I've seen so much, I experienced so much, heard so much, and nobody cares. People in Texas don't care. They execute they execute people that they know are innocent. You're sick. You're murdering a person. That person's not guilty of anything. You're murdering a person. And the people at Nix, for all I know, well, you know, when patients at Nix commit suicide, because they're not being taken care of, they're not being paid attention to, they're not being treated, they're being ignored. Like I said, the staff sit behind the nurse's station, and that's all they do. Most of the time, they don't even do head counts. Right? They just don't. The only time you're going to be treated well at Nix is if you're a private patient, private pay, and they know you're private pay, and then they're going to do their job. But otherwise, they don't care about you. You're just a dollar symbol to them. That's all you are. So, Nix Specialty, if you want to sue me for what I'm saying, go for it. Because then all the crap about you is going to come out. And then you will be in trouble, won't you? Just like the Devereaux Foundation. You want to sue me? Go for it. And again, you do that, then a lot of stuff is going to come out that you don't want out there. But, why don't you people at Nix learn how to properly take care of patients, psych patients? Don't just ignore them. Don't assault them. You're sickos. And what could I have done? I mean, I'm not sure. I could have jumped in there and tried to defend her, but then the same thing would have happened to me. So I did what I could, and I contacted the appropriate agencies, and nothing good came of it.